So to get started on your shed project, we are going to click New, and we're going to open up our template that we created in class already. So it won't show up in this list, but you're going to click Browse, and you're going to find it where you saved it to. So hopefully that is in My Computer and then your network folder with your username. Remember, I'm a teacher, so mine doesn't show up there. So mine I had to put on my desktop, but yours should be in there because that way, no matter what computer you use, you can use this template. I'm going to open up my Revit template and hit OK. And now it has everything set up like we made it. So like if I go to my east, I can see I have 3 levels. It's shrunk in, just like how we set up our template. So we're going to start with creating the walls of your shed. So I'm going to go to Wall, and we're going to start with our exterior walls. We're going to do our exterior 2x6, and you're going to draw your walls to the same size that you planned it out on your drawn floor plan. Remember, the maximum size is 12 feet by 16 feet. So I'm going to click and drag, and it's going to be pretty small on here. So I'm going to get to 16 feet. I'm going to zoom in now that I kind of know how big it is, and then I'm going to scroll up to 12 feet and keeping it at 90-degree angles and close it off. So I want to make sure that I know that what size this is going forward. So if I click on a wall, if I click on this top horizontal wall, it'll show me the wall next to its size. So that's how I get this 12-inch. And if I click this little button right here, it shows it in place. So if I click my vertical wall, it'll show me my 16 feet, and I can make this temporary dimension permanent. So I'm going to click that. And another thing, if you click the dimension, since you probably don't want to accidentally drag it bigger or smaller, I want to lock it in at these measurements. I'm going to click this little lock button, and that won't let me move those dimensions now. Those walls are stuck in place. It moves the whole thing around. So I have my exterior walls drawn, and now I'm going to do my interior walls. Because remember, you need 2 different rooms in your little shed. So I'm going to go to Wall, and instead of basic wall exterior, I'm going to do my interior 4.5, because you're probably not going to have plumbing in your shed. So on mine, I just have 1 wall creating 2 rooms. The room on my left is going to be a little bit bigger than the one on my right, but however you designed yours on your floor plan, that's what you're going to draw. So I know mine, I have it 6 feet for my right side wall. And you can see down here I have a 10-foot room and a 6-foot room. That's what I wanted it to be. So if I click in here, there we go. You might have to click a little bit to find where your dimensions are. I'm going to lock in the 6 foot just so that people knowing or looking at it know how big those walls are. And now actually with these dimensions, the 16-foot and this 10-foot and 6-foot are redundant, or like a duplicate of it, because if you can add these together to know the total length. So I'm actually going to delete this top one. And okay, it was just saying that I was deleting something that was locked. And it just makes things cleaner. You don't want to have too many dimensions. So now that we have our walls all set, let's look at it in 3D. So if I click this little house view, that's how we get to 3D again. And a couple of things. I have siding on the inside, and my walls look a little tall. Actually, let's go to elevation. Let's go to my east view. My walls are 20 feet tall right now, so let's work on fixing those 2 issues of them being too tall and then the siding is on the wrong side. So if I go back to my level 1, when you click on a wall, you can see these little arrows. That'll flip the wall around, so now the siding will be on the correct side. So I'm going to do that on all my walls. And then I know all of my walls have a height of 20 feet, and I think even my interior. That one's correct. Let's see. Yeah, that one's in there correct. But if I click on each of my walls, I want to make them all only 10 feet, or I can set the top constraint or the top rule that it only goes up to level 2. So I'm going to click apply, And I'm going to go through on all of these and change my top constraint to level 2. All right, let's take a look at the 3D now. So now I have siding on the outside. My walls are 10 feet like they should be. And it all looks much better. If I look here, they're only 10 feet, just like what your project is lined up to be. So let's add in our floor for our last little step of this video. So to add in a floor, we're going to click floor. And for a shed, normally you wouldn't have like ceramic tile or a wood, like wood flooring or carpet. We're just going to do a, let's see here, we're going to do a generic 12 inches, but we'll make it not so thick. We probably wouldn't have a 12-inch concrete floor. It'll only be a couple of inches. So we're going to go to edit type and edit. So just like how we did with our other walls that we created, we're going to make this a cement floor. So we're going to choose in here, and let's see if we type in cement, nope, concrete, precast. Those are concrete blocks. Precast will work for what we're doing. So we're going to do a concrete precast floor. We're going to hit OK. And instead of a foot or 12 inches thick, let's just do 4-inch thick flooring. We're going to hit OK. So probably should have duplicated and renamed it, but since this isn't on our template, it won't mess everything up. It'll just be on this one. This one is a concrete instead of a generic 12-inch. Okay. So now I have a concrete floor here. So I need to choose where I want my floor to go. Since I want it around this whole thing, there's a couple of ways to do flooring. I can click on all the walls, and you can see that purple line, that's my flooring. So that's one way. I'm gonna undo that. Another way is to take this rectangle tool, and I can click and drag. And this way I know it'll be on the outside of my walls, so that purple is on the outside. Before it was on the inside, and you have to do some extra clicking. But there's that rectangle. You could, like when we get into like our interior rooms, I'll show you how to like separate the rooms so that you can do different flooring. I'll go, here, let me hit X here. Yes, so let's do the flooring again. Oh, I lost that. So if you click the walls, you can see that it's on the inside of them. So we want to click this little arrow to send it to the outside so our flooring is fully underneath the walls, especially with it being a concrete like foundation flooring. So either way, if you're clicking the walls, you want to click the little arrow so it's on the outside, or if you're doing a rectangle, make sure it's going from the outside. And then green check mark to accept your flooring. If we look at our 3D, then now you should see a floor underneath your shed. So the next video will walk you through adding doors and windows to your shed.